Hi guys, so today I'll be explaining to you all class Amphibia using visual mnemonics, and the main picture I'll be using here is going to be this frog, and you can see there's like water and the land separated by like kind of a bridge. So this picture is going to be like the main highlight of this, and you'll be using this to remember it in a very logical flow. So let's begin. So firstly, we speak about the examples of class Amphibia. That's going to be examples are going to be toad, frog, and ichthyophis. Then we speak about them being the first vertebrates to invade the land. So as I told you, they are very special because they invaded the land first. So they are tetrapods. So some of them are aquatic, which means they are only living in fresh water. There are no marine species, whereas some of them are terrestrial. But we know that the eggs and the larval forms of these require water. So we can say they need water to complete the life cycle. Nextly, we move on to the eyes. So as you can see, firstly we speak about the example, then we speak about the land and the water, that concept, and then we speak about the eyes. So eyes, if you consider, there are two membranes you have to speak when it comes to the eyes. So firstly, you have the nictitating membrane that is found in front of the eye, and then you have the tympanic membrane that is found behind the eye. So later we speak about the skin. So when it comes to the skin, you have seen frogs, you know that they're very glandular. So they don't have scales, they have thin and moist and they have glands. And the skin functions as a respiratory structure. And it is also sensitive to environmental changes. So as soon as the environment changes, the body is also likely to change according to that. So the reason for that is the skin being sensitive to environmental changes. After the skin, we have to speak about the limbs. So, limbs, you can say, some of them are limbless, whereas some have limbs. But it's very important to note that they were the first group of animals to develop limbs. So, this can be questioned as an MCQ as well. So, they have limbs and they are tetrapods, which means they have forelimbs and hind limbs, and they have digits on limbs. So, like when it comes to limbs, they have digits like this. And what is the purpose of these limbs? These limbs are used to elevate the body. So you have seen the frogs can elevate their body to some extent from the ground, and also helping in locomotion is going to be the functions of limbs. So now using this picture itself, you can remember several points. So this is kind of like a mind map. Firstly, the examples, then about invading the land, then about the eyes, the skin, and finally the limbs. And don't make a sound, go. Now let's speak about the systems and all those stuff that are mainly discussed in Unit 5 mainly. So I'll be interlinking information, as I said before, with Unit 5 and Unit 3, because that's what's important. If they ask for like information about amphibia, you should be able to recollect all the information they are given in the whole syllabus. So that's the whole purpose of me creating a mind map like this, to remember it easily. So, firstly, we speak about the skeleton. Then we speak about the respiration. So, when you respire, you excrete something. So, then you speak about excretion. So, once you excrete something, you have to carry that across the body to remove it from the body. So, that is done by circulation. And circulation, you link it with endothermic or ectothermic. And then finally, you speak about the reproduction. So, this will be the flow that we use mainly. I've been discussing this with the previous videos as well. This will be kind of the flow. Other than the other unique features of a particular class, we speak about this kind of a flow. So every time you speak about a class or a phylum, if you're able to recollect all the points that come under these subtopics, you're good to go, because you know that you have covered all the points. So this way of remembering the points will be important and easy for you to recollect when it comes to an essay. So first we speak with the endoskeleton. So they have an endoskeleton composed of bones. And then when it comes to respiration, now we already spoke about respiration at skin, right? So then you can speak about the gills. So gills are being used by aquatic forms and also by larval stages. So aquatic adults and larval stages are going to use what? The gills. And in addition to the gills, we have the skin, we have the buccal cavity, that's a mouth, and also the lungs. So they have a pair of lungs for respiration, specially. Then after respiration, as I told you, you have to excrete the nitrogenous waste products, the metabolic waste products, and all that. So for nitrogenous excretion, the main organ we use is kidney. This is mentioned in Unit 5. So aquatic forms excrete ammonia, whereas the terrestrial form excrete urea. So when it's aquatic, you have enough water, so you can easily dissolve the toxic ammonia. So that's why you use aquatic forms use excrete ammonia, whereas the terrestrial forms, they kind of convert ammonia to urea and excrete it. Now, let me ask you a very important MCQ question that they can really confuse you with. So, if there's a statement like amphibians use only kidney for excretion, is it right or false? Well, actually, when you consider this statement, at a glance it might seem right, but we know it's not only nitrogenous waste products. If they mention excretion, not nitrogenous, then carbon dioxide also will be considered. So carbon dioxide excretion is done by what? Removal of carbon dioxide by the skin or the buccal cavity and all that you can come up with. So if there's a statement like only kidneys used for the excretion of amphibians, that is a false statement. Just wanted to point that out as well. Then you have circulation. Circulation, we know they have closed circulation, which means the blood is, restricted into vessels and blood is being circulated. They have three chambers, which is why you call it as an incomplete circulatory system, but they have double circulation. Now, let me explain to you what is double circulation. So, from the organs, there is deoxygenated blood. When that oxygen poor blood comes from the atria to the ventricle, here they have only two atria and one ventricle. That's why it's three chambered. Then what happens from atria, it goes to the ventricle, then it goes to the lungs. Then from the lungs, it comes back to the atria, then ventricle again, and then it goes back to the organs. So here what happens is, in this process, when the blood is circulated once in the body, it's circulated twice in the heart. So there's a small mistake here. It has to be like this, right? So first it comes to the atria, then ventricle to the lungs. Then again from the lungs to the atria, then atria to ventricle, ventricle to the organs. That will be the flow. So you can see it circulates twice in the heart when it circulates once in the body. So that is why you call it a double circulatory system. So now you know when it's an incomplete circulatory system, the pressure is going to be low. You don't have to maintain a very high pressure to do this, which means it has restricted metabolism. When there's restricted metabolism, we know the heat generated is going to be lesser. So it does not, release a lot of heat to maintain the body temperature at a constant level, regardless of the external temperature changes. Therefore, we call amphibians as ectothermic. It's opposite of endothermic, where they don't make an effort to maintain the body temperature constant, regardless of the external environmental temperature changes. After speaking about the metabolism and ectothermic nature, you have to speak about the reproduction. So here they have external fertilization, and most of them are oviparous, which means they lay eggs. But it's very important to note they don't have shells. So reptilia has shells in the eggs, whereas here they don't have shells. Aves, they also have shells. So now this will be the whole idea of amphibia. If you're able to bring down all the information into one paper, you can easily visualize, and once you revise, you can make sure that you covered all the points when revising. So let me just run through the points again, the key points. So firstly, you have to speak about the examples. Then you have to speak about the land, their ability to reinvade the land and all that. Then about the eyes, the skin, then about the limbs. That will be like the first half of this chapter. Next, you have to speak about the endoskeleton, then respiration, excretion, circulation, then ectothermic, endothermic nature, and then finally the fertilization. So this will be it. If you kind of want to, if you look at the resource, the order is different. They haven't given it in any logical order, then it will be difficult for you to recollect all the points. But once you have organized this information into, a structured manner, then you can go in a flow. So now, if I recommend you to watch this again, then you can easily recollect the order of this. And then what you can do is try recreating this map even. It will be very easy for you to recollect. So I'll be covering all the classes and phylums when it comes to amphibians, mammals, reptilia, aves, and all so on, and even plants. So stay tuned, and I hope this helps you in some way in making biology studying much more easy and of a breeze. So stay tuned and do subscribe and keep watching. Thank you.